3ds Max uses the term specular to identify a material's level and strength of shine. The settings that control those surface characteristics are located in the specular highlights section of the material's basic parameters. Now, to demonstrate the way those controls work, I'll simply be using a teapot that has a navy blue material applied. So I can see an accurate representation of the changes I'll be making, I'm going to go ahead and activate Max's Active Shade Viewport Rendering command, which if you're not familiar with is discussed in the chapter on rendering. To turn Active Shade on, I'll go to the upper left-hand corner of the perspective view, click on Perspective, and then choose Active Shade. Now, any changes I make to the teapot's material will actually render directly inside the view. Let's now open up the Materials Editor and see what we can do about adding a little shine. Now, if you look about 3/4 of the way down on the left-hand side, you'll see the Specular Highlights category. Your primary controls for both adding and controlling the shine are going to be the specular level and glossiness. Now, watch how this works. Take the spinner to the right of specular level and push this up just a bit. As you do so, you'll now see the teapot indeed has a little shine. Taking the specular level higher increases the strength of the shine. Now, I want you to notice with that strength increase, you're doing nothing as far as changing the size of the shine itself. That's controlled using the glossiness value. So if we drop down to that and increase the amount of the setting, you'll see that indeed doesn't change the strength, but does change the size of the shine. So with those two settings in mind, if you want a stronger shine, you'll increase the specular level, and if you want a wider, more broadly based shine, you'll lower the glossiness. Down below glossiness, you'll also see a setting named Soften. You can do this to simply soften the effect of the specular highlight as it blends into the material's diffuse color. So if we take that a little bit higher, it's a subtle effect, but you'll see a more gradual feathering between the area of shine and the base navy blue color. Now, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the bell-shaped curve located to the right of those settings. Both the curve's height and its width at the bottom are directly correlated to the specular level and glossiness values. Here's how this works. The higher the specular level, in other words, the stronger the shine, the higher the curve will go. So if we lower the specular level, thereby reducing the strength of the shine, notice how the curve has indeed dropped down. Creating a stronger shine takes that curve closer to the top of its display. Now, the bottom width of the curve controls how wide the shine will travel on a surface from side to side. That again is the glossiness setting. So here's how that works. A higher glossiness, which in essence creates a smaller dot of shine, will make the width of the curve down at the bottom thinner. So watch this. If we crank the glossiness up, watch the bottom of the curve. See it thin out? And look at the specular highlights on the teapot. They're no longer spreading as far side to side. So if you can get a little more comfortable in reading the curve, you really don't have to worry so much about the actual numbers you're plugging into the left. The big thing to remember is the taller the curve, the stronger the shine, and the wider or fatter that curve is at the bottom, the more the shine will actually spread farther from side to side. Now, there's one other control you'll be using as far as controlling the specular highlights, and that's the color of the highlight itself. If you look below the two navy blue color swatches above, you'll see a white color swatch for specular. That white color dictating the actual color of the shine. So for an example, if we click on the white color swatch, changing it to yellow, you'll see that reflect back in the active shade as far as the color of the shading on the teapot. Changing it instead to red now displays a more reddish colored shine. So that's pretty much how you're going to go about controlling a surface's shine component. You'll be taking the specular level up and down when adjusting the strength of the shine, and you'll use the glossiness setting to control the actual size of the shine. You keep those two settings straight, and you're going to be on your way to being able to make whatever your scene might call for. Everything from totally dull to extremely shiny.